You ready?
I'm always ready. Are you ready?
No.
Oh, you fancy, huh? Girls, let me see your hands. Wave them at them bitches hating on you with their friends. Girl, you got it.
You are now tuned into Let's Talk Podcast, where we talk less and do more. Today we have a very, very special guest.
Oh shit, my bad. How y'all doing? Raphael, right? East Sider, all around good guy, I think. And yeah, a doer.
A doer. I like that.
Yeah.
A doer. I actually love that. Let's jump right into it. I follow you on social media.
hmm
Okay, first you opened a grocery store. Okay, but I want to talk about something else before that. Plants. I see you have a lot of plants. What started that?
Uh, the pandemic turned it up, but I
Mm-hmm.
always, so I grew up in a house with plants. My mother always had plants, so I always thought they were beautiful additions to your crib.
Mm-hmm.
The older you get, you see the therapeutic properties of them, health properties. So it now was a part of just my life. You know what I'm saying? I love taking care of them too. So
I
um,
love that. I love it. It's very attractive. Yes, and you garden.
yeah, yeah. Now that for sure started during the pandemic. Again, I grew up around people who gardened. It wasn't something that I thought was needed, or it wasn't something that I would love to do. But once the pandemic started and we needed food, so I got out there and then bumped into the therapeutic properties of it.
Hmm.
Being outside and being in the sun and being a part of nature. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what my life would be without it. So now it's something that is a part of my life. But it started during the pandemic, and we in it for 4 or 5 years. Locked in.
It makes me think about Jody on Baby Boy, his mom, when she used to sit in her garden and just be like, that was her little safe space.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the tangible results, growing food, growing it, selling it, or growing it, taking it home, or whatever you're doing with what you grow, the process.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like nurturing a child. It's like, a project that you start and you putting into it. You know what I'm saying? The outcome, regardless of what it is, you always gonna love it because of what you putting into it. And again, just being in that natural element, I love it. I love it. I can do it every day, do it all day. I want to retire doing that type of work.
I always say a man that can take care of plants or stuff can take care of a woman. That's just something I just feel like. But the grocery store, what inspired you to do that?
Development in the community. You know what I'm saying? When I graduated high school, I didn't leave the city. So
Hmm.
I seen the city at its worst. I lived through the pandemic, the bankruptcy, you know what I'm saying, when the city was at the bottom of everything, socially, economically, politically. We had a scandal, all this stuff going on. I was right here in the city, you know what I'm saying, coming of age. And then once the city started to pick itself up and pull itself out of the
Hmm.
bankruptcy, we started to see the development, but not where I'm from, where we from, where our people are from. So I just wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to redevelop the city in places where I'm familiar with. So I started doing my homework on what would start that, and food just continued to come up. You can't build community around barbershops and
Hmm.
stuff like that. You need
It's
groceries,
definitely
or
something different and
yes,
essential.
yeah, it's an essential need.
Hmm.
So my journey, I don't believe ends there, but that's the start to this development thing. If we don't feed ourselves, we can't do nothing else. So that's what sparked the drive, and now I'm in the driver's seat doing it. You know what I mean? Love it. It's a fun job. I enjoy waking up to every day to do.
What challenges did you face, like launching, opening before you opened? Were there any challenges that you faced?
Tons.
Tons.
We didn't have enough money. And then you run the store, you know what I'm saying? You don't need money. We didn't have the expertise. I started this by myself. I didn't have the expertise.
Hmm.
Then when we bring on the staff and crew, we're all learning this together.
As you go.
The social element, you know what I mean? Wrestling away control from distributors and getting them to even buy into your concept, getting
Hmm.
the community and bought into what you got going on. Like these are challenges that we still have today, but prior to was still present too. You know what I mean? Just learning how to do this, having the money to do it, and keeping the consumers and the neighbors happy with what you're doing. You know what I mean? We had that problem from day one, and now we still, working through that day to day. So,
And that's my next question. I follow you on social media, so I know the answer to this question. But for the people watching, how does what you have uplift the Black community?
um, hope, if nothing else, has been planted, I think, on many people's mind and conscience. Like, I can do whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? This is a 7-year project in the making.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started this in 2017. So to open it 7 years later, you know what I'm saying, people have the ability to see this in live real time. I can do whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of a thought I can't think. And with the drive, hard work, consistency, something get done. The health benefits, obviously, it's a store that has healthier food and things that the community can directly benefit from. But if nothing else, hope and just the belief that you can do something. And I think that's how the community that we live in has benefited from this. The neighbors, they have a food source now. You know what I mean? We can speak for that, speak to that for days. But I think the city and much of the, maybe the country, uh, has some hope that they can do some stuff.
I definitely understand what you're saying, hope, because when I seen it, like I came at the end when you opened. That's when somebody posted. I started following you. But when I seen that you opened a whole grocery store, I'm like, oh my god, he opened a whole grocery store. That kind of put the fire under me because I've been saying I want when I get my nursing, I want to open up a CNA school, and I'm like, if I could see if this man can open a whole grocery store, like a grocery store, that's big. Growing up, for one, I've never seen a Black person open a grocery store, let alone we just always go to the grocery store. But it just made me feel like if he could open a grocery store, then I definitely can open it gave me hope. I can do whatever I want to do, really.
Yeah, we lose our excuses at that point. You know what I mean? And I made a bunch of them on the journey too. Why this couldn't work, it shouldn't work, I should stop. You know what I'm saying? But fortunately, I kept going.
That's
So
what's up.
a lot of us can, take that as a lesson too. You know what I mean? We are gonna get in our own way, but get out of your way and finish out what you said you're gonna finish. Because everything we think at some point is gonna be a need. A CNA school is needed. We are always going to need somebody in that essential role taking care of people. So to have a school to teach people the ins and outs of that, how to get. Well, I don't know what your inner workings of that is, but I can all but just see that that's an essential need, and don't give up on that. And for everybody else that got a dream or a mission, what I'm saying, stick to it because whatever you want to give people, somebody is going to be able to receive it and they need it. So keep going.
That's what's up. Thank you for that. How do you source your supplies? Because I know you garden, you grow food, but how do you like source this other stuff?
The food that I grow, that's only a small piece of what the produce in is. Just for that one section example, we source from all over the place to get the fruits and vegetables that we need. But the other stuff, much of the same. It's all over the place. We got local suppliers that provide groceries, dairy, meat, and then we got national suppliers that supply the same. The goal is to be as hyper local as possible. That's not always easy to do. It's not always feasible. But the short answer is we get stuff from a bunch of places.
All over.
All over. My goal is to be home with it though. So, but yeah, we touch all categories in that store, and we get stuff from all over the place.
What is your own diet? Like, what is your diet like?
On the healthier end, I won't say healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm human. You know what I mean? I indulge in stuff at times. Today is Cinco de Mayo. Last night I was partying a little bit, so I had some alcohol. You know what I mean? So I would be lying to tell people I don't eat cake, and cookies and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm human.
Right.
But my intentional diet. You know what I'm saying? I'm more on the plant-based side. My goal is to eat more plants throughout the week. I can have fun on the weekends with whatever I want to eat, You know what I'm saying? I'm heavy on water. Um, yeah, that's pretty much the rundown on it. Growing food, I stick to the plants too, so more on the salads.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I love seafood. Cinco de Mayo, I love tacos. So I can eat them outside of May 5th. You
So
know what
you
I mean?
balance it out. Yeah.
Balance, that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them health guru people that say you can't eat this or don't do that. I don't believe in none of this stuff. One, I'm not an expert, and two, you can live a very fruitful life eating what you love.
Yeah.
Food is for the enjoyment. I mean, so have that cake, eat that fried chicken sometime, but do it in moderation.
Moderation, not every day.
Yeah, don't go crazy with it.
Have you faced any stereotypes being black owned and it having something as big as a grocery store?
Mm-hmm. That our prices are too high. Um, Being in the community, the hope and the prayer, which I don't take it in a bad way, but people always say like I hope they don't rob y'all blind.
Mm-hmm.
So being in the community, that's a stereotype that we gonna get robbed blind and we're not gonna be able to stay, which is a thing, you know what I'm saying? But as it stands, it's a stereotype. You know what I mean? We don't have those issues right now. But our price may be too high. Um, we won't be able to compete. You know what I'm saying? I run into that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. People know me for the most part, know what type of person I am. So I don't run into no other little stereotypes.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about, I see that you have a lot of different, I wouldn't say events because they're always like, they seem like they're very intimate, like small gatherings. How do those come about? Do people come to you with those ideas, or are there those things that you wanted to do and you just source out for those?
Combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
We plan stuff, but more times than not, people bring the idea to us and we just facilitate with the space.
Mm-hmm.
That's easier to do when people bring the idea already and we can just clean up and make sure that the space is presentable for that.
Mm-hmm.
But we do plan our own stuff too. You know what I mean? Figuring out the neighborhood, that's a hard one. So people bringing stuff to us, we can see what work, what don't. Everything does not work, but the stuff that works, it works.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes the store so different because it's not just a grocery store.
Yeah, something going. It seemed like you got something going on almost every week.
Yeah, it bring people in to I'm gonna get out of this grocery business kind of way we present it because we do institutional work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we want people to come in and expect more than just a grocery experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes with just doing events. You know what I'm saying? Bring people in and see the versatility of the space that they can do some stuff outside of food. It's gonna keep us open, but it's gonna, I think, change the neighborhood. Bring the neighbors closer together that we can start doing outside work. You know what I mean? Like we need to do the inner work. Mm-hmm. We need to eat healthier, but after we get healthy, then what? We got other stuff to do. So space is a good example on how we can launch a lot of those initiatives.
Because I seen that you even had like a yoga. You did yoga before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a chess yoga. I seen it's a variety of different things that you offer, which is also amazing. Because there's not a lot of places you can go to have that much of a variety of different things to do and still shop for groceries.
Yeah.
So that is a good thing. On a larger impact, like later on down the line, what is your ultimate goal for what you do?
I wanted more stores. I don't know if I want them though.
Why?
It's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of work, and then one thing I promised myself I wasn't gonna do, but I'm doing. I'm falling in love with the area. So it's like, do I really want to leave
this
neighborhood? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Especially when the money start rolling in and I don't really have an incentive to leave. Mm-hmm. Like, will I leave? You know what I'm saying? Leaving meaning, expanding into another space. I mean, I'm going to be spending less time for the place I'm falling in love. You know what I mean? I don't know how I feel about that. So, and then there's a lot of work. So, in a perfect world, the right team, circumstance, and resources, I have stores all over the world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But like right now, I'm looking at what's in front of me. I don't know what's on the other side of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I really just need to be in this one space? Mm-hmm. Once we finish out the other stuff we want to do there, I might not have a need to leave. But that is something that I was promising myself I wasn't going to do. Definitely started doing it. And I was like, I'm just gonna rock it out, do this as long as I can.
Speaking of falling in love, do you feel like with having such a like what you're doing, I'm sure it take up a lot of your time.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to balance like? Because I know you're a dad. Are you able to balance like your personal life? How do you balance it all out?
I'm working on it. It's not easy. Right now, this is a startup business. It's a store and it's running, but it requires a lot of my time.
Mm-hmm.
That personal balance, that work home balance or social life balance, it ain't there right now.
Okay.
It's getting there. You know what I'm saying? I have been presented with opportunities where I don't have to be at the store as much. So that create opportunities to go out, do little stuff. But most of the time, if you see me outside, it's professionally driven and it ain't personal. You know what I mean? But I'm working on it.
Working on finding that balance.
Yeah, house ain't always clean. You know what I mean? I ain't been able to take a trip and stuff like that where I want to, but I'm gonna get there. You know what I mean? It's gonna be beautiful when it happens.
What do you do for fun outside of work? Even though you love doing what you do, what do you do for fun?
A lot of my fun is food driven. So, you know what I'm saying, trying new restaurants or, finding my one favorite and going there, being around other people in that environment. I love traveling.
What's your favorite place you travel to?
Hard to pick because there's so many great spots. I would say St. Martin.
I want to go there, like desperately. I want to go there. I've been to St. Thomas, but I really want to go to St. Martin.
The islands in general. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe. You know what I mean? I love outside, so anything that's gonna have me in nature is hot. It's not cold. I'm a winter baby, so I like cold too. But you know what I'm saying? I like traveling. I like being outside. So any state, city that present that, they're a winner in my book. I don't like the Atlantas and all that. I did that when I was younger, so I'm into some nature.
I love nature too. What about you? Read, right? You wrote a book or books? You wrote a book?
4 books.
4 books. About?
My first book was How to Hustle. That was an entrepreneurial guide. My second book was Wealth. That was a personal finance guide. Make the Hood Great Again. That was my view on how to build community. And then Make the Hood Healthy Again was a collab health manual, which really wasn't my book. I just contributed pieces to it. But that's what I've contributed to the literary world.
So you like to read too, right?
Yeah.
Also, how important do you think it is for men, well, everybody, because not just men don't read, but for people that don't read?
I feel like you're missing out. That creative bug that's inside of you needs to read for, one, to expand your imagination on what you can do, what you can pull out. But that's how you learn. You learn from reading, you know what I mean? Along with applying it by actually doing stuff. But you learn, I think the first foundational steps to learning is reading.
Yeah, I feel like reading, it makes it gives it turns my vocabulary up so well. Like even just having casual conversation with people, I say something, they be like, "Huh?" I'm like, when you read, if I read, I come across a word I never probably seen or something, I'm gonna figure out what that word means and I'm gonna start using it. And I feel like
T.I.
Okay, no.
Do the T.I.
Not
cool.
like that.
T.I. be getting up though.
Not that deep, but I'm just saying reading really broadens your vocabulary. Your conversations are different. I just feel like everybody should read a little bit, just a little bit.
The power of the tongue, you know what I'm saying? So knowing what something means when you're saying it, it drives your whole life. You know what I mean? You speak death gonna come. You speak positivity, progress gonna come. So again, that comes with reading. You got to understand all of that. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that without reading. You know what I mean? So that vocabulary piece is very important to how your life is dictated.
Yeah,
what
definitely.
you put in your children, what you put in the world, it always starts with the tongue more times than not. So yeah, it's real important. I love it.
What advice do you have for younger Black men that wants to start their own business or do something they're passionate about?
Best advice is don't take advice because everybody path different.
True.
So I may tell you don't do something that might be exactly what you need to do.
That's because everything, different stuff work for different people.
Yeah, so I feel like it's in your heart. You know what I mean? Do what you need to do for yourself. That don't mean don't take advice in doses, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I might park my fears on you till you don't do something.
Like, don't do this just because I'm scared to do it.
Yeah, in this your last podcast episode. This ain't gonna work. It's blah blah blah. And it's too much to do. But if you listen to me, then you know.
I'm like, maybe it is too much.
Yeah, it's gonna run into your psyche. So, you know, take advice in doses. You know what I'm saying? Really follow your heart, and going back to studying, just become a student to what you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's food, you want to be a mechanic or whatever, just become a student to it. Then that's the less advice you're gonna need because you know what you need to do already. So I just say do it and do what you love. If you really if you're driving for money, you're gonna always lose doing all this stuff. Get into a bag that you actually love, you're gonna be all right in this field.
Something you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you for coming. I feel like I had to hunt you down.
That was a lot.
I had to hunt you down.
That's a lot.
I did.
That's a lot.
I'm like, when?
No, you asked one time.
I think I asked 3 times.
You asked once.
I think it was 3 times.
You think, and I know it was.
But once. I really appreciate you for coming. I know following you on social media, you're always doing something. You seem like a very, very busy man.
Yep. And you asked me one time.
I don't think I asked you once. I think I asked you more than once.
Nah, you asked once.
But you are a very busy man. I really appreciate you for coming. I really do.
I appreciate the invite. This is comfortable. You know.
You comfortable?
Real comfortable.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting back. I feel like I'm in therapy. You know what I'm saying? But no, it was I've been following and being a fan of this platform that you've been building.
Thank you.
And I know that this gonna help me. That's why I'm like, I gotta come through.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this ain't just me coming and I'm actually getting something out of this. So I definitely appreciate it.